What's up, everybody? This is Landry, aka the Fantasy Moron. Fantasy sports, that is. I am currently on the Icon of the Seas, one of the largest cruise ships on the planet. I am a stand-up comedian. I work out on about 5 different cruise lines. And one of the things that I do to keep myself busy is I engulf myself in fantasy sports. I'm not a guru by any means, but this is the path that I want to take. I want to be the greatest fantasy sports player on the ocean, which I think is a manageable feat. Especially if you guys help me out. I'm pretty knowledgeable about NFL football, but everything else I wouldn't say I'm starting from ground zero, but I could definitely use your input and your knowledge. So if you can, give me a subscribe and give me some advice along the way. I implore you to help me. Constructive criticism is always taken on this page. I've been doing stand-up comedy for 17 years. You can't hurt my feelings. I don't have any feelings left. So in saying that, I'm in 6 different leagues right now. I got 2 keeper leagues, and I took on 4 dynasty leagues. It's actually one community of dynasty, a pool of dynasty players with multiple sports under one umbrella. I took over from an owner from last year who kind of got out of the game, and I said, hey, this is a good chance for me to get into some sports that I don't typically watch, maybe learn some things, and maybe at some point be a fantasy analyst or some sort of a commentator. That's my end goal anyways. So I have 2 leagues under Yahoo. Those are my keeper leagues. That's baseball and hockey, actually. Baseball season, obviously. Fantasy season's over, but we're in the World Series right now, and my team is playing the Toronto Blue Jays. Go Jays! I know there's gonna be a lot of Dodgers fans out there probably commenting on this, saying how we have no chance. But you know what? You guys have a great lineup. You got Ohtani. You got one of the deepest batting orders I've ever seen. But we have Vladimir and unlimited maple syrup. So, you know, that's got to count for something. Those are 2 sports there. The other leagues that I took over are under Fantrax. So we got NFL football, we got soccer, golf, and basketball, which actually starts tonight. First night of the NBA season. I basically have 3 tiers of knowledge when it comes to sports. I'm pretty good with baseball and football, American football. I know the players, I know the schemes, I know the coordinators. I get the game. I used to play football. I understand it. I've been watching baseball for many moons. So I get those ones. I can typically stay pretty competitive in those 2 leagues. But after that, it's a substantial drop off. So I got hockey and basketball in the next tier. I'm not terrible at those sports. I know some names. I know some of the big names. I don't necessarily know the depth. I don't know coaching. I don't know schemes. I don't know any of that stuff. So if you could help me out with that, I would gladly appreciate it. And then at the bottom is golf, which I know nothing about, and soccer or football, however way you want to say it, I know even less about. I know nothing about soccer. If you have any knowledge about football, European football, please hit the subscribe button, leave some comments, shed some light on my team. I need your insight because I just want to stay competitive. I want to be good in all of these, and I don't know that I can be without external help. So if you could, please hit the subscribe button. And I'm about to go into each of these leagues and break them down a little bit and tell you guys who I have on my team and the setup of the league itself. Let's do this, guys. We might as well start with soccer since we're at 8 weeks in. 9 weeks in, actually. I am 4-4 and currently sitting in 5th place. I don't know what I'm doing. I made a lot of trades. I kind of blew up each of the leagues. The Dynasty League on the Fantrax, you can trade with other owners throughout. So if you have a soccer player you want to trade for a basketball player, you can do that, or you can give up draft picks for whatever other league. They're all together. So if you can trade one player from one league for another player from another league. So I kind of just blew up each of these teams that I took over, trying to get younger. I noticed that they were aging out a little bit. So my soccer team is very young. I don't know if they're good. I had a week where I only put up about 89 points or something like that. And then last week, my team exploded after I made some trades for some younger players. I don't know if they just got lucky. I don't know what's happening. But let's just break down the roster. So I have 4 goalies, and last week only one of them put up positive numbers. Everybody else had negative numbers. So I don't know how to gauge that. I don't know who's good, who's on a team that has a good defense, who's on a team that scores a lot of goals so they can allow a lot more goals. I don't know who to play out of this lineup. I got a gentleman named Henderson, Vicario, Kelleher, and Mamardash. I don't even know how to pronounce the names. You're probably gonna have to write that in the comments how you say that. Who do I play? I don't know. I noticed that Vicario at the beginning of the year was murdering. That guy was putting up 18 points a week. He was shutting people out for the first 4 weeks, and then it went to 0 points, 4 points, 6 points, -8 points. And so I'm afraid to play that guy because I don't know if he's just on a bad streak or if he's just not that good of a goalie. As for Henderson, he started off the season, he had one really good game, put up 26 points, probably got a shutout in that one, but then everything else has kind of been 6, 2, 8, it hasn't been great, but other than last week, he's been in the positives. This other Giorgio Mamardashvili, man, these names are serious. I know I'm butchering that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if that's your guy or if you are him. I don't know how to say your name, but I'm gonna learn because I want to do better. He's only started 2 weeks. The first week he put up 9, and then last week he put up -2, which wasn't even that bad considering how bad the other 2 goaltenders did. And Kelleher, he's been up and down too. He put up a lot of negative runs at the beginning of the season. He put up a 30-point game, a 9, and then a 13. I might play him just because he's put up 3 positive numbers in a row, but I don't know. You guys tell me who to play at goalie. As for defense, I got a ton of defensive players. I traded for a lot of these young guys. A lot of them are, I don't know if they're rookies when they have the M beside them, or they're very young. Maybe they came up from another league. But my team is relatively young, and I have a lot of players that have been putting up consistent numbers. This is my team. These are my defensemen, or defenders. We get to play, there's 3 slots for defense, and then a couple flexes that you can, and then sorry, let me start over. There's 3 slots for defenders, and then 1 for a flex, like a defender midfielder. So essentially I could play up to 4 of them, and these are the guys to choose from. I don't know if they're good or who to play matchup wise. I just usually play projections, and I don't like to play projections because they don't necessarily mean anything. It's always nice to say, oh, this guy should put up an X amount of points, but then he doesn't put up, no, but this Gordon guy, Anthony Gordon, that guy's 99% rostered, 90% started, and I don't know that he's put up double digits yet this year. So projections don't always work. Now for midfielders, these are my midfielders. Again, there's 3 spots open for midfielders in this league, and then 2 flex positions that can be either forwards or midfielders. So I can play up to 5 of them. I actually don't have that many midfielders on my team. That's probably an area that I'm gonna have to address at some point. I have enough to fill the roster, but I don't have any flexibility when it comes to those guys. And then finally, we have the forwards. We have 1 forward spot, and then 2 flex that you can play forwards for. I imagine, I don't know a lot about soccer, but from what I've noticed that if you score goals, it's worth a lot of points because there's so few goals scored throughout the course of a game, so they're worth more. So in my mind, it would make more sense to play 3 forwards if I have the opportunity, because if one of them goes off, like I had last week, a guy put up like 55, 56 points, and he just put me way ahead. I'm guessing that the more forwards you play, the better. Especially if they're strikers, if they have the opportunity to score quite often. Other than that, I got a pretty deep bench. I don't know who to play, guys. Please, if you could just help me. If you're a soccer fan, please hit the subscribe. Let me know who you would play, and maybe even why you would play them, just so I get an idea. Because I'm starting from the ground up here. I honestly don't know anything about football, European football, and I want to learn. So if you could, give me some heads up. 3 defensive spots, 3 midfielders, 1 forward, and then 3 flex positions, and then 1 goalie. We will tackle NBA basketball now, which actually starts tonight in a few hours. So hopefully I can get this post up in time. If not, it doesn't really matter. But I have a line. There's only a few players on my team that are playing tonight anyway, so it's not a very big deal if I don't get any feedback in time. Interesting league. I traded away. I know a lot of you are going to be upset, and you're going to be like, "What the heck are you thinking? Why would you trade those players?" But in my mind, I traded for a lot of other elements for other sports. I got a bunch of young guys in the soccer. I got some football positions that I was trying to fill in, but I traded away Joel Embiid and Davis and from Dallas, and I know those are 2 huge big men, and I understand that they're the catalyst of their team. They're the center, the focal point of their offense. But what I know from them from the past is that any league that I've played and I got those guys, they never made it to the end of the season. They might play 50 games, you know what I mean? And I just want to get somebody, a younger team. They're getting a little long in the tooth, so I traded them while I still had some leverage with them to fill some spots in other leagues, as well as add some depth to my guard position because I lost Jason Tatum last year. So I need to fill that void, which I picked up Daniels from Atlanta, from the Hawks. So in this league, you got 1 point guard position, a shooting guard position, 2 guard positions, 1 small forward, 2 forward positions, 1 center position, a flex forward / center, and 2 flex outright. And so we have I got some good players. On paper, I think my team is very good, but after trading away a few of my big men, I wasn't sure if I could contend. So I made sure in the draft that we had that I addressed a center. So I picked up Derek Queen from the Pelicans. I think he's going to be a great player. He got hurt preseason, so I didn't get a chance to really see him play. I think he was out about 6 weeks. But I have some young depth, and last year I picked up Ware from Miami off waivers. And if he's going to play anywhere close to how he's been playing in the preseason, I think that's going to be a steal for me. I think he's going to be a great replacement for those guys that I got rid of. I just don't know. I just don't know how it's going to work out because tonight's the first night, obviously. I don't know what kind of point scoring we're going to put up. I went the route of having a lot of guys that are going to put up consistent points as opposed to having a couple guys that are going to just knock it out the park with these 60-point nights or whatever, you know what I mean? I went the route of conservative, like a little bit more, okay, everybody stays consistent, I can stay competitive, and then kind of make the changes as necessary. But look at the team. Let me know who you think is going to be strong this year, who you think I need to maybe shop or bench, I guess I'd say. It's early in the season. I don't even know who these... I got to be honest with you. I don't even know who's starting and who's like coming off the bench, but I'll figure that out pretty quickly. And that's pretty much it for basketball. So let's move to the next sport. Next up, we have NFL football, which I'm actually proud to say we are in week 8 and my team has gone 7-0. I know the most about football, and the team that I was left with was actually pretty good. I traded away some components from some other leagues and some like Terry McLaren and some other players to solidify some backups, and I had a really good draft. I drafted Scatterbo and McMillan from Carolina. So those are my first 2 draft picks, and they're both doing fantastic. They're filling in the slots. I already had 2 great quarterbacks with Allen and Herbert, so I knew it was going to be solid because it's a super flex league. And I'm 7-0. I don't know that I'll make any changes. I don't think I'll make any changes for the rest of the year. Maybe defensively, because we have the individual defensive positions, which I've really scoured the waiver wire for, trying to find a linebacker. You know what I mean? Somebody that gets a lot of tackles. I've managed to put up a decent amount of points on the defensive side, in addition to the offensive side. So I'm pretty competitive. I lead the league in points scored as well as record. And the 2 guys that are underneath me, I beat both of them already. So I'm sitting pretty. My next 4 weeks should be relatively much easier than my last 4 weeks. Knock on wood. I'm playing some of the bottom tier teams, and so hopefully I can win another 3-4 in a row, be sitting pretty going into the playoffs, and play a lower seed and hopefully make it to the finals. This is my team. I got some depth. I have great players at a lot of these positions. A few of them are getting older, but I'm trying to. I traded away some of the older guys to try to get younger. They were getting younger, long in the tooth. And so I think this will be my last year having Derrick Henry on this team. If I can trade him away, I'm going to trade him away next, in the off season or whatever, try to get something for another league that I need, and maybe even this season if I feel like Scatterbo is really like doing his thing. I got a few other running backs like Warren off of Pittsburgh, who's been doing very well, but then Pollard and Hubbard, they're kind of splitting carries now, so they're not as dominant as they were before. But like, if the other guy gets injured, like those guys get every carry, and they're super productive in those offenses. So this is my team. We got 2 quarterback spot, well, 1 quarterback spot, 2 running back, 3 wide receiver, a tight end, a couple flex positions, and then a super flex. So, and then all the individual defensive positions. So this is a pretty fun league. I don't know that I need a whole lot of input on this, but I'll take whatever you got. If you got some information that I can't see, or maybe a player I should trade Derrick Henry for or go after that would solidify my roster, let me know. Let me know in the comments, and hopefully, I've never gone undefeated in anything before, so I'm on the right path now. I don't even know if I've ever gone 7-0 in anything. So let's keep this party rolling, and we'll move to the next sport. So hockey is an interesting sport for me because I used to watch it a lot as a kid, and then growing up in Canada, and then I kind of stopped watching it for a very long time when I moved to America like 20-something years ago. I think that I really like the game. They don't always play them on ships for whatever reason. I like to go watch in the sports bars, but they don't typically play hockey for some reason. So I typically just have to watch it on my phone or just watch the updates or whatever from individual games. This is a keeper league that I joined with my brother a few years back. They needed somebody to come in. I came into the league. I'm still getting. I'm not bad. I do all right. I'm competitive, but again, I'm not great. And I had a draft that I wasn't. We're week 3. I'm 1-0-1. So I won the first week. I tied last week, and we're currently in the 3rd week. I don't mind my team. I'm not super happy with the output of some of the players that I thought were going to do well, especially my defensemen. I'm hoping that it's just a slow start. Maybe they're just not gelling yet in the offense. But I was really, really hoping that Hedman, Josie, Dobson. I thought Dobson was going to be great. 2 years ago, that guy was amazing. Josie, too. Both of them, 2 years ago, they were phenomenal. And I was just, when I drafted them, I was really hoping that they were going to get back to that form. And it hasn't happened yet. I'm going to stay positive and hopeful, but I'm not afraid to drop players. I'll let you know that in any league. I'm not afraid. If you aren't doing what you're supposed to do, I will drop you and probably regret it later, but well, you know, whatever. Or not, you know what I mean? But it's a great league. 2 centers, 2 left wingers, 2 right wingers, and 4 defensemen plus 2 goalies. I think I got decent goaltenders. I got Demko and Saros. They've been playing very well. Last year, my team was obliterated with injuries. I was working the waiver wire for goalies, and it did not work out for me. So I addressed that a little earlier this year, picked up 2 legit starters, so I didn't have to go to the waiver wire every time, you know, I needed somebody. We got to get 3 starts a week in order to make a minimum. 4 pickups a week is the max. So I typically have 1 player on my team that I just kind of float week to week. I just drop them for whoever else to fill in the gaps, whether it be a goalie or a defenseman or a forward if I need some offensive points and whatnot. But we're 3 weeks in. I feel okay. I don't know if I'll make some trades. It's still way too early to tell. After this week, I'll be able to tell a little bit more on which categories that I thrive in this league, and which ones that I can either punt or need to address. These are the categories. These are my team. This is my team, and if you got any input, man, please hit me up. I love hockey. It's such a fun game, and I wish I would have been able to play it as a kid, but we didn't have any money, and it's an expensive sport to play. So now I'm just living vicariously through other grown men who with athletic abilities. All right, folks, that pretty much wraps it up for all of my leagues. I'll address golf and baseball when they come closer back in the season. If you have any input, please feel free. Anything, whether it be from the recording to the players, to the teams, to the category, whatever your input is, you let me know. I'm going to take it with a grain of salt, and I'm going to do better, and I'm going to make this page wonderful, and I hope to make it to the point where I can play in high-stakes fantasy leagues. I also live in Las Vegas, so there will be a lot of prop bets going up on this as well. But if you love fantasy sports like I do, please give me a subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Cheers.